Hello everybody, this is Mr. Combs, and in this video I want to present a brief history of drama. Where does drama come from? Well, drama most likely has its origins in the rituals of prehistoric peoples. According to Saphir and Daniel, the first theater might have been a Stone Age campfire. The first actor-playwright, a person retelling the story of a hunt to other members of the tribe. And I want to stop here for a minute to point out that here you see the word theater spelled T-H-E-A-T-E-R. Sometimes you will see the word theater spelled T-H-E-A-T-R-E. And that's not a mistake. When we refer to a building, like a place to watch a play or a place to watch a movie, we spell theater T-H-E-A-T-E-R. So E-R means the theater. When we talk about the concept of theater, like when I say I love the theater, meaning I love plays and I love actors and I love drama, we spell it T-H-E-A-T-R-E. So animal impersonation might have been the earliest form of acting. Rob Graham states cave paintings in southern France clearly show men dressed as deer as part of some hunting ritual. And you'll see a couple of cave paintings there. And for that larger painting, it's not as easy to see, so an artist did a rendering of what it might have looked like when it was originally drawn. And here we see on this slide theater spelled T-H-E-A-T-R-E. So that means the concept of theater, not a building. But we know the ancient Egyptians performed plays, and these were mainly passion plays about the death and brief resurrection of the god Osiris. So a passion play is usually a play depicting the suffering of a deity or the suffering of a god or some spiritual being. Many people remember the movie from a few years back, The Passion of the Christ, right? So when we talk about the Passion of the Christ, we're going to focus on the suffering and the ordeal that Christ went through. So Osiris, the god Osiris in Egyptian mythology, also went through a death and a resurrection. So the plays from ancient Egypt usually depicted that story. And according to Rob Graham, one performance included battles on land and water, voyages on the Nile, and a scary resurrection scene. The action took several days to complete, and the audience joined in the fighting. In fact, as Graham points out, the first ever written account of an actor was of the Egyptian Iker Neferet. And I'm terrible with pronunciation, so that was probably slaughtered. These passion plays were apparently very realistic, and the actors who participated in the staged battle sometimes died from the wounds inflicted upon them. But although the Egyptians definitely were theatrical, the ancient Greeks took theater to a whole new level. Therefore, the study of drama often begins by analyzing the plays of Greek playwrights, such as Euripides, Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Aristophanes. Greek drama began as simple religious celebrations, but by the 5th century BCE, Greeks were presenting their plays in huge open-air amphitheaters. Costume performers acted out the old Greek myths and legends, and the large audience spent all day at the theater, viewing a series of tragedies interspersed with comedies and satyr plays. Amphitheaters were outdoors and more like large stadiums. According to Pickering and Hopper, the Theater of Dionysus at Athens which was used in the first productions of all the great 5th century Greek plays, probably seated about 17,000. The theater at Epidaurus, built a century later, seated 20,000, and the theater at Ephesus held more than 50,000. And there you have a depiction of Sophocles. And you also have a picture here of the theater of Dionysus. Dionysus was the god of wine and theater and performers. And so the plays were presented at religious festivals honoring Dionysus. I mentioned satyr plays, and satyr plays combined elements of tragedy and comedy. They often used low humor and had references to genitals and bodily functions. And they were named for the chorus of actors who dressed as satyrs. And satyrs are basically men with the ears and hindquarters of a horse. So I want to take a look at the parts of a Greek theater. So the orchestra is literally the dancing space. It was normally circular. That's where the action would take place. The theatron, literally the viewing place, that's where the spectators sat. That's like the stadium seating. The skene, literally the tent, was the building directly behind the stage. And the parados, literally passageway. They're the paths by which the chorus and some actors made their entrance and exits. Characteristics of Greek theater. Theater was taken very seriously by the ancient Greeks. Plays were performed competitively during daylight hours at religious festivals honoring the god Dionysus, the god of orchards and wine, theater, and festivity. An ancient Greek play presented a single complex situation. It focused on oration rather than action and character motivation rather than plot. Often actions, especially those occurring inside buildings, were simply described on stage rather than depicted. The actors moved in a stately and controlled fashion. And according to Saphir and Daniel, we might think these actors were performing some stately ritual if we compared their action to the realistic acting style of today's theater. So in Greek theater, not much went on stage. The story might have had action, but the stage was mostly just people standing around talking. The actors, who were all men, wore oversized costumes, platform sandals to make them taller, and large masks with exaggerated features. And the masks were used so that anyone from the amphitheater could see the action, could see the type of character. That's why the masks were large. And then also the large masks, which had a hole cut in it for the mouth, would project the voice so that it could be heard. Roberts and Jacobs point out that up to 28 different kinds of masks were available. Each mask portrayed a distinct facial type and expression, like king or queen, young woman, old man. And the masks were made of stiffened linen, so none of them survive to the present day. However, we do know what they looked like because theater was so popular that many replicas of the masks were made of stone or bronze. Greek plays made use of a chorus, a group of 15 men who chanted and danced between the scenes. The leader of the chorus was called the choragus or the coryphaeus. The chorus reacted to and commented upon the action of the play, sometimes explaining its meaning to the audience. They often spoke in unison, and this helped the audience hear what was being said.